Hello, everybody. I am Winnie Marion, and this is Simon Says, the weekly CAD podcast of Bard College at Simon's Rock. And I'm here today because maybe you're a new student who doesn't know what's going on and could use some guidance, because I was once that new student who didn't know what was going on and could use some guidance. If you're at home worrying about what starting college early is going to be like, or what the orientation week is going to be like, don't worry, because I got you. If you want to go to our website, weeklycad.com, you can see there's a section for new students, and I've written a while ago, last year, I wrote an article about advice for workshop week, which isn't what I'm doing today. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. But my advice for workshop week, you should read that so that you know how to not be a douche canoe on your first day. Yeah, so that's kind of, or like how to not let others be douche canoes to you, or to just how to chill. I'm not the best person to advise you on that, on how to chill, but like, I think it's pretty good advice. So I would check it out. We have a page for new students that myself and Elise have been working on. Elise is my vice president of the Weekly CAD this year. So just check it out. I'll start off by telling you that the Weekly CAD is our weekly newspaper, and other things too. I guess it's just kind of a media thing now, but it's a newspaper. It's a newspaper, but I started it. I'm the president. It's a fun time, and you should join it if you're a new student coming to Simon's Rock. You should 100% join our club. And that's not biased. I'm just telling you that it's the best club, but it's like, I'm not biased. I'm looking at this from a very objective perspective, but it's okay. Anyway, so if you don't want to join it, you can still listen to this podcast because it's still for you. And if you're a recurring student and you just want to listen to my voice for a really long time, please also listen to this podcast because, it's just good for you, a daily dose of my voice, a weekly dose of my voice. So anyway, I'm here to let y'all know what it's going to be like. If you want advice, I have a place for you to go, and it's on your student page. But if you want to just know what is going to happen, I can tell you that right here. So to start off, they have a writing and thinking workshop. And that means that you spend a week or a few days writing and thinking. And I know that sounds like nonsense because thinking, but it's about an educational philosophy of trying to tie in together writing and thinking so that while you're writing, you're also thinking, and writing helps you think and thinking helps you write. I explained this again like 10 minutes ago in a different episode of this podcast. It's fine. But, it's about an educational philosophy that is thing that both Simon's Rock and Big Bard that they make you do. And trust me, they'll explain that to you in a speech that's a little too long on the first day because you're a little too tired and you just want to go back to your dorm or talk to the people around you because they're kind of terrifying. So, yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to arrive on campus during this first week, this orientation week, and they're going to usher you into a large building, which is our student union, and you will get to know that building well at your time at Simon's Rock. But for the first day, it's going to seem terrifying. It's a few rooms that are all filled with tables and people shouting at you with colored flyers telling you where to go and how to get things signed. And then you have to go to the doctor's office and other places in the student union. It's a lot. You're getting flyers, getting check boxes on your forms. That's a lot. Check boxes, yeah. So anyway, that's what you're doing. So you get all these check boxes on a form because you get ushered into this place in which everybody's screaming at you, and you go to each table and they check things, and then you end up and you find your way to the final stand, which will give you the key to your dorm room, and you'll go back to your dorm. The first year students, they're usually housed in the tri-dorms on campus, which is the 3 dorms on lower campus, and lower campus is called lower campus because it's not on the highest part of the hill. So it's pretty straightforward. That's what I'm going to say. So yeah, so you're on lower campus, and they're all pretty close together. You're either in the girls' dorm, which is called Crosby, or the boys' dorm, which is called Oliver, or the Who Cares dorm, which is called Kendrick. And they're not really that different. They're all like a little dirty, yeah, and like weirdly painted, but it's not that different. Crosby has the most floors, I think, so it's like the highest, tallest one. Kendrick doesn't really have that many. I guess it's just different vibes, honestly, different vibes. If you want to hear a scathing review of Dolliver, I also have an article that I wrote about that. I am just shamelessly self-plugging my own writing right now, and I'm going to keep doing it because this is my podcast and I can do whatever I want to do. So, anyway, moving on from whatever that was. Yeah, so you have the 3 dorms and you'll go to one of them because your dorm will be in one of them. Maybe you'll have a roommate, maybe you'll get lucky and not, or maybe you have a medical single, in which case probably not that lucky. Regardless, you'll get sent to a dorm, you'll start unpacking, and then all of a sudden you'll be in classes on the first day, which is like, why? But like first you have to go, no, not even classes. So first you go to a speech. You go to like a couple speeches. You hear Ian Bickford talk, who's the provost, which is like the dean. Like he's just in charge of everything. He's the main hoo-ha. And he'll speak for a long time. Probably mention Frankenstein. He did that last year. I think he did that the year before. Anyway, he'll talk for a while. And then he'll send you to go to different groups to then start classes right away. Which is like I gotta tell you, it's a little overwhelming. It was for me. The people who walked into like the student union on the first day and they're just like cool and chill, I don't understand those people because they're just, tell me your secrets. If you're a person who's going into this and is like totally fine and like totally like who cares, like I was a student at the academy. This was my second time doing it and I was still like, oh my god, so many people in this room, like come on. Anyway, if you can be calm, then please tell me how. Like tell me your secrets. I want to know. I want to eat whatever food you're eating. So, don't be like, yeah, I'm overwhelmed. That's crazy. No, like, of course you're overwhelmed. So let's take you to the classrooms that you're in, and they'll start off with like first day activities, get you to know everybody in your group. And your writing and thinking group, at least last year, I think it's probably the same this year, is the same as your seminar group, which is the class that you're taking for the first semester twice a week, in which you are reading things and talking about them and writing about them and writing lots of essays. Basically just learning how to write an essay. So that group is like people you should get to know. Although sometimes they're people that you see once and then like never see again. I think that happens a lot in workshop week. Workshop week is like this really weird headspace that I think everybody's in because everybody's like in a new environment, super weirded out. So they just kind of freak out, invent a new personality. But that wears off after the first week. So don't get your head all muddled in the first week. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It all settles out soon after that. And so really don't worry about the impressions as much as you want to because no one really remembers workshop week. You'll remember like one funny story. Oh yeah, in your writing in workshop, no one remembers that. Like I remember my first time, I cared a lot, and like I was like, I need to write something that's gonna make people laugh so that they like me, kind of thing. It's because they make you read it out loud. That's a thing. So they make you do free writes where you're just writing for a few minutes, like straight, and you're not allowed to stop. And then you have to read it out loud. And I was like, I need to make this funny. But then later on, I was like, that didn't matter. And that was a lot of stress that I put into this very not important thing, very unimportant thing. And in the scheme of literally anything, there's no reason why I should have put so much energy into wanting to be cool. Because it's not the same after the first week. And it's a good foundation of getting comfortable in your environment, but the environment changes anyway. So really just like take it as it comes and learn as much as you can about where you're being housed at, where you're existing in the campus. I think that's a good use for it. Get acclimated there. Try to find where your classrooms are before they start, because that's helpful. Find people who are in your classes if they're not just in your seminar, because that's going to help you, and then you'll feel more confident going into them. Yeah, I think that's kind of the main helpful thing to do. But so basically you're stuck in these classrooms for like a really long time, and it's not that bad. It's fun. You get to know people. you write for a long time about like interesting prompts, but like your hand gets like so tired because you're just writing for hours. And it's exactly what it sounds like, writing and thinking. Like you don't stop writing and you don't stop thinking. And then they have you read things from a book and a booklet that they give you, which is just little excerpts of things, and you write about those things. And you have like little bits of homework, but nothing really stressful, like things that you can finish in 5 minutes. And then at night, you have activities every night of that week in which they're mandatory because you either have to do something like it's like community building, or like you have to go to a Title IX presentation. None of these things are particularly fun, but they're mandatory. And I'll tell you that now because they have a sheet that you have to sign regardless. So if you don't go, they know that you don't go, and you get ACE credit for them, which is a currency that is invaluable to our student body. Very inflated currency, but so you should go to those, or sign into those. Make sure you sign into those. Don't leave those events without signing in, because you've wasted an hour of your time, I think. Unless you learn something good from those events, in which case, good for you. Good for you. I don't remember a lot from those events, but I'm proud of you if you have. That's fantastic. It's better than me. So, go to those things, I guess. And, well, you have to. They'll make you. But, yeah. So then also you have the day-long workshops, and those just kind of last. You have like a break for lunch, and you have the nighttime after the events are over, and you have the morning. That's kind of all the time you have. But it's a lot of writing, and they try to make events so that you can meet other people and talk to people. They have like a bonfire. I know they had that last year, where people come and dance to music and what have you. So there's that. But it's a lot of writing, and you get to know the people in your workshop pretty well, but then a lot of things change after workshop week. Because on the Sunday before classes, the old students will arrive, and they already know their way around everything. So it's very intimidating. And they already know what they're doing, and they're not afraid of you. And they're also probably putting on a persona like, I'm too cool. I can't deal with you freshman folk, first year folk. I always say freshmen. I'm supposed to say first year. Call them first years. That's that. I'm just wrong. So, a lot of the older kids come back, and they're trying to be cool. They're trying to flex a little bit, but you gotta ignore that. And you'll probably be intimidated by it in some way or another. I'm just noticing that in this, I just get very intimidated a lot, don't I? So that's that, I guess. I think a lot of it is just this monotonous, like, activities after activities that you don't really, like, aren't, like, fully exciting, but are still exciting because you still have the enthusiasm of beginning the year and everything starting, and you're getting to know so many new things all at once. And so there's a lot of that. And I think a lot of people, they don't know what they're going into, or they're like trying out a new persona. And so it gets kind of weird. Everybody's perspectives of each other, they get kind of weird, and then it changes. So it's fine. Whatever you do, it's fine. I would just say try to get whatever you can out of it that you can, but know that a few things will change after the week is over, once the semester starts, because then you get into the routine and everybody's very comfortable. In the first week of the year, you do have the club fair, and that's just, you go to that, they send out an email, and you go to see what clubs are there, and they'll try to sell you. I'll probably be there yelling at you, and so you'll get to hear my voice more. Isn't that fun? Anyway, but that's the email they send out. Most activities are sent out through email. Everything is sent out through email. If you do not arrive the first day and set up your email account, you will be behind, and I am so sorry. But just do that. Find somebody who knows what they're doing. Find your peer mentor who is the older student who lives in the dorm with you. Find them. They'll be there during workshop week. Make them help you set up your email if you cannot do it yourself. If you are technologically disadvantaged, just do whatever you can to get email ready, I think, because they're going to come, and then your writing thinking workshop professor, they're going to ask you at some point to send them an email, and then you're going to have to spend like an hour on your own trying to figure out email. When you have a free second, focus on email. Focus on it. That's what I did. Served me well. and then set up like Simon's Rock accounts at like lookingglass.edu, like the Moodle accounts, all that kind of stuff. Go for that first. It's the technological. Maybe that's just coming from me because I do not really know how to deal with technology. I mean, I'm saying that, but I'm recording something right now on a technological device, so I sort of only kind of know just a little bit about technology. So maybe that's my, lack of brain power coming out right now. But I would say that that's a good place to start when you're coming in first night. What are other things you should know? Well, I think you might start off with too big a course load or too small a course load, and you can still drop things or add things or change classes in the first week besides your seminar class. That's kind of set. And I'd be sure to do that quickly because I think it's much easier to change classes early on so that you don't lose all that information that you've missed. I think a lot of people get confused and don't really know how that system works. So if you want to change your advisor, what you do is you go down to Hall College Center, which is the administration's office. It's a building on campus, and if you ask anybody where it is, they'll show you. If that doesn't work, there's an article on our website that shows pictures of it and tells you what it is. You go there, they have a form, you get it signed by your old professor, your new professor of the new class you're trying to switch into, and then you take it to your advisor. But that's the process. On the first week, you'll meet your advisor and you'll meet with them. They'll give you set times, which they'll send out through your email. But they'll give you set times to meet with your advisor. And your advisor is someone who you, in your first year, you're supposed to meet with weekly to talk about classes and what you're doing and moving forward and how your year's going and how your social life is adjusting. I think different people get different things out of their advisors. Some people enjoy the very personal experience with them where they talk to them about their social lives and themselves and everything. And then some people just kind of want to get their form signed and leave. It's just whatever's up to you. It's different advisors will do different things. You'll figure out pretty quickly whether or not your advisor does have to do with your kind of forte. Like, I would say, for one, get an advisor and change quickly into somebody who is in your, projected field, I guess, of study, what you want to major in. And then someone who you like as a person. You might wait until after the first week and you get into classes and maybe there's a professor who you really like who you want to be your advisor. But I would just say, take time, at the beginning, to establish a relationship with your advisor or figure out someone who's going to work for you. Because I think if you just have one for a really long time, you're not going to want to change, and it's going to be difficult. So I would just, do that off the bat, if that's something that's important to you. If you're a person who just wants to sign a form and out, a lot of people, I think, get that, and they'll do that. But there's some advisors who are very talkative. Like, some professors are very talkative. So all the advisors, they are professors, so they're probably people you have a class with, and that's a good relationship to have. If there's somebody who you already have a class with, it's really helpful because you get to know them beforehand, first of all, and then second of all, they'll probably like you better because they're responsible for your academic achievements. So, it's like they have a reason to want you to succeed more than any professor, so they'll probably, motivate you more. You want motivation, or they're just going into class, it's good to you already know them, so you're chill, but yeah, so that's a good thing to look out for. That's fun. It doesn't really matter as much as it seems like it matters. You'll get acclimated to the dining hall. It's usually a lot better on the first week than it ever is any other time, and because the days where the dining hall gets better is the first week and whenever there's tours visiting. That's the secret, is that it gets better. So you want those tour days. It will fill you with excitement when tours of children walk through your dorm, because you will smell the food in your soul getting better than normal. So that's during workshop week. A lot of people get very close to people who they end up never seeing again, or they get freaked out by older people or other things like that, social things. I'd say don't worry about it, because you don't know what's going to happen after that week. Finding people who are in your classes, that's good, because you know that you're going to see them. Don't start dating somebody during workshop week, because the first thing I should have said is that workshop week, it feels like it feels like forever, but really it's not, and it feels like such a long amount of time. It's the longest, shortest week you'll ever live, where each day feels really short. Like you've gone through that, like, oh my god, I can't believe that that's over, but the week itself feels so long. So it feels like you know somebody so much more than you actually do when you get to the end of that week, because you've spent so much time with like these people, or like, you know, it just feels like you've known them for a very long time, or you know so much about them, or etc, etc, etc. I would say don't let it go a little bit. Wait until the first week to feel fully grounded in certain relationships. I would just try to be chill, start foundations of people, get to know, introduce yourself to as many people as you can, so that after that first week you go in, it's more likely that you're going to see people around. You might not see some of those people again, but then some of them you'll see them around, say hi, or some of them you'll become really good friends with. So I would say, as much as you can, just introduce yourself and get to know as many people as you can know. That's a good tip from me. But don't, people will tell you not to start romantic relationships. Like your dorm, your PMs, your peer mentors, and your RDs, which are your residence directors, those are the adults which live in your dorms, which kind of watch over everything. They'll tell you not to get into a romantic relationship during workshop week, because it doesn't end well. Yeah, it's because you feel like you know somebody better than you do, and then it's just kind of like a mess. But it's not that big a deal. If you do that, then it's fine. You'll recover completely. But everybody forgets about workshop week, so don't worry too much. Don't worry about your first impression. It's not that important. If you're scared about something, people will remember what comes later, and you might make certain friendships or relationships in workshop week which develop into great friendships and people who are really close to you, and you might not, and both of those things are awesome. Or the people that you met vaguely that you didn't expect to be friends with, you might be best friends with. I would say those are just like, don't expect anything from what's happening at the current moment, because it'll get you into a mess. And yeah, so yeah, that's kind of that. Just take it chill. Everybody just be chill. It's so overwhelming, and it's so much. It feels so long and like so extensive, and like all of these new things are happening. You're in a new place, new education, new life that you're living. It's crazy. But it's not as important as it seems. You learn a lot of good new things. Try to listen to what they say in class and what those things are called, because they do have you do those things later. And then try to introduce yourself to a good amount of people. You know, go to mandatory events because they're mandatory. And yeah, I think that's kind of that. It's not as dire as it seems, and just be chill and have fun with it, because who cares? And you'll be great, and I'm confident in all of you. And just be like chill and honest, and don't like come in and try to like be cooler than everybody, because you're not cooler than everybody. No one's cooler than everybody, but all of them are gonna pretend like they're cooler than everybody. So I would say, you know, like, don't do that. But if you want to, then you can do that too. And no one's gonna hold that against you for the rest of your academic career, and no one's gonna hold many things against you from this 1 week for the rest of your academic career. But you'll remember certain things, and certain things will stand out to you, but it'll feel really different than it does the rest of the year. And I think, don't take workshop week at face value. Go in knowing that it's a different experience from what's going to be generally your experience, and allow that to be what it is. And don't attempt for tons of things to be set up right away. Wait for classes to start so that you can kind of, you can get your footing and start foundations of really great things then. So yeah, that's it. If you have any more questions, want to ask advice, we have forms for that on our website, both anonymous and not anonymous, and I'll answer any questions you have about Simon's Rock or what it's like to be a student gladly. You can email us at weeklycad@gmail.com. We have submission forms on our website, which are pretty clear, straightforward. Our website is weeklycad.com.